This is the Best Experience with your host, Nick Best, and the Angry Dad. And before we get into today's podcast, I'd like to thank our podcast sponsors, Barbell Apparel, premium athletic wear engineered for performance with the tailored athletic fit, refined clothing for an athletic body type. Evolution Athletics, a supportive gear company owned by Brian Shaw, four-time world's strongest man and strongest man on earth. We believe in all athletes and supporting their journey towards greatness. Iced Up Industries. Iced Up Industries, best cold plunges in the game, and you can get $50 off with code BEST at checkout at Iced Up Industries. Get yourself hooked up. Please use the links. It really helps us out. We appreciate it. And we got the great up-and-coming, hitting it hard, man, every show, Tom's Evans.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Great. And strongest man on earth.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Is there anything you haven't competed in yet?
I have yet to do a Giants Live. That would be the only branch of the tree I have not covered at this time.
Well, Giants Live, reach out. What are you guys waiting on?
Well, you know, we're hoping for some things in the works. There's been some conversations, and I'm hopeful something will get, worked out here soon. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, there's one here in Vegas.
Well, the one in the Vegas is deadlifting. If I had to pick, I think I'd rather lift a log, but that's just me.
Yeah, but remember, the deadlifting part is only one event, and you're still going to place higher than you think at it, because they take all the guys from the deadlift world championships out of the mix. Yeah, because there's only a certain amount that are doing that, so it's actually not as bad as you think.
Well, I've yet to been to Vegas, so that would also be, come see you guys.
That would also be good.
Yeah.
You come out and have some fun.
Oh, absolutely.
That's
Go shooting here at the range.
Oh, hell yeah. That'd be awesome.
Which is why you see me in the car, because I'm actually working at the range right now. I had to come out and take my lunch to do this.
So well, I appreciate you guys doing it early for me so I can get to bed. Eastern time.
No worries. So, you excited about the Shaw?
Extremely excited.
Strongest man on earth?
Yeah. Yeah, like last year was very much like, you hear about it, you're like, it's this heavy, it's this many events, and then you get into it, and then it's like, okay, it is heavier. It is even more taxing than I thought it would be. Mm-hmm. So I'm excited to be, a second time around, have a better idea of what's coming. And I like the competitions with more events. I think for me, I can finish it, hopefully like top 5 in every event, or at least in the top half, and end up somewhere good in placing. So I feel pretty confident about that. Weaknesses are getting better, and strengths are getting better as well.
It's all that matters.
Yeah.
So plus they're gonna have an event that you'll probably like a lot too, right?
Yeah. Really excited for the squat.
Yeah.
Two overhead events with 3 disciplines. That's exciting for me. It'll actually only be my second time doing circus dumbbell, but been training it a lot. I'm really excited to get to do that one on the pro stage.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty cool.
Sure.
It's gonna be fun to watch. Yeah, we just went and tested the bale carry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that looks that looks insane.
It's gonna be pretty cool. If you got a good grip, then it's just gonna be getting the thing moving.
Yep. Yeah, because I imagine it's gonna feel more like a carry and push than just a carry.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because those tires are huge and they're soft, so they're pretty rubbery. You're gonna have to push on it, and it's gonna be on a rubber floor, so you're gonna have to lean into the thing when you're going.
Interesting.
It's not gonna be what people think it's gonna be, and then you get to run back the 50 feet and sit down and do the arm over arm with that tractor, and the tractor, the way the tires are in that tractor. The first pull and the last pull are going to be the same.
Yeah. That's what we were kind of getting at. I'm assuming it'll feel kind of like the safe, right? No momentum, maybe a little heavier.
Yeah, it's going to be not a lot of momentum. You'll get a little bit of momentum out of it, a little bit, but not a lot. So, I mean, Brian has one technique. I had another technique. Brian pulled it much harder because they actually, it's going to be neat though. They're going to be able to measure the pressure on the things that you're putting on them.
Yep.
So that's going to look really cool for the screen because Brian was pulling like 540 pounds of pressure on the rope.
Yep.
And it takes like 250 to move it, which I know he's told everybody or I wouldn't be talking about this.
Yep. It's on the YouTube. We're good.
Yeah, cool. So, yeah, it's going to be pretty serious.
Yeah.
And the consistent pull, because if it drops below 250, it doesn't move. It stops.
Yeah.
It will stop. So, and it took Brian a minute. So, he's one of the best I've ever seen at that event. So, I'm thinking there'll be 2 to 3 guys that might get through the whole thing in the 90 seconds. But it's
I didn't even
spicy.
I for some reason I thought it was gonna be a 2-minute mark, but that's still. If Brian took a minute on it, that's there'll be a lot of distance being measured, most likely.
Correct. Which it's gonna create a lot of separation, I think. It really is. So it's gonna be good, and it's gonna get guys pulling to that last second because every inch is gonna count.
Yep, absolutely.
So, yeah, I'm excited. This is gonna be fun, and I'm gonna get up there and talk while you guys are going. So it's gonna be a blast. You're like, oh, that looks painful.
Oh, that's good. That's gonna be a long minute and a half. But
talk about slowing down time.
Excited for the opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's gonna look incredible. I mean, like having 4 giant pieces of farm equipment just moving on one go. It's gonna be
all going at the same time.
Yeah.
They're gonna, the bale tote or the baler will clear out, and then when you pull the tractors back, the only thing coming back at you will be the tractors. So it's gonna be pretty neat to watch.
Awesome.
It's gonna be visually really cool. I like the device he came up with to do the arm over arm with too.
Yeah.
Because that seat that's gonna move and stuff is, if the guys are smart, which I wasn't as smart as I should have been. I should have been using my legs. But if the guys are smart and they use their legs, it's gonna help. It's gonna help a lot. So.
Love that.
And I don't think you're going to be able to loop it around your back and then just lean back and do some other things. You're going to have to stay in your hands with it. That I do know.
Yeah.
So, but it's going to be cool.
Oh, yeah.
It's really cool. And then they open one more section in the arena, so the floor is going to be even bigger.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And it's going to be filled out, too. Every year it's been.
Yeah.
It's sold out last year. It'll sell out this year. It's going to be crazy. The expo is going to be pretty neat, seeing the way they're going to set it up. They're doing the South Hall now, too. So it's going to be 2 halls, not just the one.
Damn.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's good, though, because it gives a lot of vendors and opportunities and, people to get in there and really see all this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's going to be neat. Go ahead.
Yeah. Anybody that's listening, I'd highly recommend to go. It's Yeah. I've gone to. This will be my 3rd time, and it's just from the fan experience. I tell my family like this is the one to go to, and it's a little harder to get to because it's an hour north of the airport. But in my opinion, it's more than worth it.
Oh, wait! It's one of the best experiences you'll ever do, and then just with the speakers that are come and talk, and the lectures that'll go on, and just some of the other stuff that's going on. It's gonna be pretty exciting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fired up for it. I can't wait. So, but how else is your training going?
It's going well. My biceps are finally starting to heal a little bit. So, I don't know what my camera's doing. Zooming in and out.
All right.
We're really, really excited to get, the squat event in. Really excited to throw the K. Excited to continue. I've been training. I've been training Axel for really since last October. So the Axel is primed, ready to go. Getting back on the log. Deadlift's improving still. And it's just we're going to start incorporating some more of the specific events here in a little bit. We kind of building the foundation, but we'll start getting the finger back in, start getting the power shares back in.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so many things to train. You can't really cover everything every week. Yeah. I mean, it's 8 events, but I mean, the way I count it, it's right. It's like 11 different disciplines to train, which is just, trying to manage body fatigue and manage, all right, when can I push this week, or do I just need to work on technique this week? Because if you try to push everything hard for 12 weeks or however long training cycle is, you'll break before you even get there.
Yeah, and that's something a lot of guys don't understand. Is you don't have in training, you don't have to do the events with the actual contest weight. You just get close and practice your technique, and you already know you're gonna be able to lift the thing. So you just suck it up and go get it done. So the guy that comes in the healthiest usually does the best, to be quite honest with you.
Yep.
So that's a good way to think about it.
That's the hope.
Yeah. So it's what else do you think? What else are you looking forward to this year? How was Worlds, by the way?
Worlds for me was a good experience. I was a little disappointed in my performance, really on one event. So on the sandbag, and I don't know if I'll show this on TV. I had injured my other bicep in training leading up to it. Not significant, nothing surgical, but enough to where I had to make some modifications. Like on the deadlift ladder, I planned to pull the first couple bars mixed grip. I had to bail on that, which probably ended up helping me out take more time so I could get the last bar. So that was a huge win.
Right.
Because off the floor, that last bar was about 40 pounds less than I've ever pulled off the floor. So hopefully we'll pull a lot more now without the ladder setup. So we were happy with the deadlift. Viking press was great. I made a conscious decision in the sandbag when my biceps started not to feel great to just was like, I'm going to be fighting for 1 point here. I wanted to stay healthy for the next events. And we had a really, really tight group. I mean, between Rag, Bish, A-Bars, and myself, it was like 4, I think maybe like a 3-point spread going into like the last 2 events.
Wow.
And I was really confident that I would win the Viking press. I was confident, mistakenly, about the car yoke. Where Nick, we've talked about this. I struggled again with the car yoke, and I can't. I'm looking at some things, but I'm very confident in training. I've done it with a regular yoke, with throwing chains on there. I tried to create some instability, but for whatever reason, I haven't simulated the car properly, and I finished it in a really bad time. That was the only thing I was really disappointed by. The stones, I did have a tacky issue, but I panicked with my tacky because I was worried about my bicep. So I kind of I would call it probably 50% tacky, 50% bicep issue, where the strengthless wasn't there to bail me out of the bad tacky. And
so what was bad about the tacky? Did you get the wrong blend or what?
I used a lot. I used way too much, and it was way too hot. And I started, sweat. I started wearing stone sleeves solely just for the sweat, trying to keep the sweat off the tacky. And I was in the third group, and I underestimated the amount of time in between. So I definitely should have waited longer to put on my tacky as well. That was actually my first, besides regional comps, that was my first time doing stones outside.
Oh no. Okay.
In training, I've done it outside, but we all know it's very different. In a competition,
when the crew leaves the stones out in the middle of the sun for the whole entire time to cook all day in the sun, it definitely makes a difference.
Yep. OSG, Shaw, the Arnold Amateur, all indoors. So not like I even said it. I'm like, well, that was my first time on the real stage doing stones outside. So learned some lessons there.
Yeah. So now with that, what will you change?
I have to put the tacky on later, and I see a lot of guys, they'll leave the tacky out in the
sun,
in the sun, so they kind of see how it's reacting to the weather. I did not do that, and I had I've always had issues sometimes getting out of the jar, so I use a heat gun.
So what type of tacky were you using?
I was using Elite Standard because it wasn't melting until we got out there. Should have used the hot grade. Yeah.
That's the thing about doing stones here in Vegas. It's so freaking hot. Even when they are in the garage, the stones are still over 100 degrees. It'll be 100. Like today, it'll be 105 out right now.
Yeah.
So inside the garage, it'll be 105. So that's, you get used to going, okay, nope, I need to put this on, I need to put that on. So, okay. So did you go with like 5 or 6 different grades, or did you just go with like a couple?
I went with 3 grades: the hot, the standard, and the training for the. I usually throw in the back of my hand.
Okay.
But yeah, I messed the whole thing up. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah. So like where Spider Tack has like 2 grades, Cerberus has 4 or I think even 5 now. And so you get one of each of those grades, and then get all the different weather ones for the Elite.
Mm-hmm.
And then you take, like in a contest like that, I'll end up bringing probably 8 different types of tacky with me.
Do you leave them out in the weather to see how it reacts, or do you keep them covered?
Well, the stuff that you bring for the heat isn't even really gonna. You're gonna have to heat it up just to get it loose enough to put it on.
Got it. Yeah.
So you put it out in the sun just to try to loosen it up, and if it becomes like puddly in the sun, it's not strong enough.
Yeah.
The stuff that's like almost hard in the sun, that's what you're looking to use going into something when it's super hot like that.
Yeah.
And humid, and then like put spray tack on your arms, and then put on your sleeves, or put a little bit of tacky on your arms, then put your sleeves on, and then put tacky on the sleeves. And your sleeves won't move when you're doing
it. Yeah. I did. I usually do the alcohol wipes and the spray tack, and then tape them up. Like the sleeves weren't moving. It was just
good,
just melting off. And I may have had the tacky on to get 45 minutes before I went.
Oh, that's a little long. You're almost better off at that point just wiping it off and starting over.
Yep. That's definitely what I'll do next time. I really underestimated the amount of time in between each group.
Right. And just and then always remember on that. If you gotta do the stones and you're not ready, they still gotta wait for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So play with the time a little bit, but don't necessarily, just be like, okay, well, is it time to go? Yep. All right. Well, I've been starting to get ready. I'm almost ready. I'll be there in 2 seconds. And then you just finish up your process. I mean, you've been waiting around for them all day, right?
Yeah.
So,
Well, we'll adjust it. We'll and I'm also not wondering if it was a blessing in disguise to keep my bicep on. So
yeah,
that's why. Yeah, maybe it was for a reason.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But that's why I'm just mad about the car. There was no injury holding me back. I just didn't get the job done again.
How often do you do Zercher squats?
Zercher squats? Not often. Well.
Okay. Well, add those in once every 2 weeks.
Okay.
And get heavy with them. Get up into the mid 5s, low 6s for singles and doubles.
Okay.
Get heavy with that. You walk out of the rack with a 600-pound Zercher squat. You're not going to care if the car moves or anything anymore.
Okay.
It just won't matter. Your core is going to be so stable. It's not going to move. It's really not. You're just going to breathe as regular. It's going to move smooth.
Interesting.
It'll help a lot.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll check that out.
A lot.
Well,
so
I'm hoping next time it's just a regular yoke, but when it comes up again.
Yeah, I know we got the cars in December.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that.
I'm gonna be watching the tape. I can tell you that.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna try to go faster than I went last time.
Yeah. Oh, you flew last time. I was there.
Yeah.
I remember seeing that.
Yeah. So I'm gonna try to beat 7.62 seconds.
Oh man, that's freaking flying, Nick. That's gonna be awesome.
What?
That's gonna be awesome to see. Where's OSU this year?
Wisconsin?
Wisconsin.
Oh,
Madison, Wisconsin.
I kind of want to go.
Yeah, you should. Fun. You come hang out.
I'm actually going up to Kohler, Wisconsin in a couple weeks for a wedding. I love it up there.
Nice.
I love Wisconsin.
Yeah.
So
it's gonna be pretty up there.
Yeah. You have to fly back a bunch of spotted cow.
Yeah. There's a few of those up there.
Yes. Oh, that's awesome.
And then I got a lot of family up there too, so it should be cool. It's gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to it. Now it's just get ready for the deadlift ladder and all the other stuff that's gonna happen. It's gonna be fun.
Oh yeah. Can't wait to watch.
Yeah, my issue is gonna be getting down to the bar quickly. My hips aren't as friendly as they used to be. Well, so getting down to I figured out a way to pull myself in. So now I just got to keep practicing that, and I should be able to get it pretty quick by then. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah,
it's fun.
Where are the other events?
Well, those are the two that I know of.
Okay, fair enough.
I figured there's going to be a stone. There'll be stones. There's always stones. So that'll be fine. There's going to be some type of carry and drag medley because he always has one. He went and told everybody we're going to have the car walk, so there's probably not going to be a farmer's or a frame, but I'll still train it anyway because the foot movement on the farmers is the same as it is on the yoke, so that's easy.
Yeah.
So how close are your feet when you pick your yoke, by the way?
I go around with my hips, the same way I walk. It works for. It's been fine for me for other yokes.
Okay. All right, because I put mine actually inside of my shoulder width, so my feet are probably only 9 to 10 inches apart when I pick a yoke. They're pretty close together.
Yeah, about hip width, right?
Yeah, maybe just a little. Yeah, about hip width, maybe just a little more narrow. That way, you take the first step, and there's no rock side to side at all. No. Yeah. It's just the motion goes forwards.
Yeah, I gotta. Well, I'm hoping when it comes out on TV, I can see my feet to double check that. But I double checked my feet because I thought that was the problem the first time was that I went too wide. So like I checked my feet like 6 times getting into that car. So, it may have been an overthinking thing, but that's done now.
Yeah, no, it's cool.
Yeah,
it's cool. Yeah, it's gonna be fun to see where you go with this because you're being methodical. You're learning about the injuries. You're learning how to rehab the injuries and train around the injuries too. And that's gonna be a big part of it because the more of these you go to and the more of these you do, all of a sudden you're doing 5, 6, 7 of them in a year, and you get beat pretty bad.
Yeah.
So it's learning that moderation point as you're going and when to push and when to back off. And well, I got invited to this. I'm going to go do it and do the best I can, but I'm going to save myself on these things so that I'm ready for what your goal is, you know?
Yeah.
So what else is going on?
Not a whole lot. It's just work and training. It's
Well, how's the balance between strength and conditioning coach and getting your training in at the same time?
Well, for me, I kind of know my yearly schedule at this point, so I just kind of roll with it. I'm not gonna lie and say it's easy. I think every year, I feel like it gets harder. I'm getting a little more tired, going to bed a little earlier, not wanting to do anything on my rest days. Things start hurting. Yeah.
It gets worse when you get older, by the way.
Yes, so I've been told. But yeah, I mean, it's to me, it's just management, making sure I can handle everything, and then I think this year, the second half of this year, I got to do a better job of looking at the whole picture. Like if I have a really hard work day, like physically, I need to be, or travel wise, I need to be more careful in training following those days.
Yep.
Yeah, because I had to do a lot of traveling in the spring, and I think that had something to do with my biceps injuries. There was a span where I was on the road, I think about 6 weekends in a row. Yeah. They're not far, but it's still time in the car, and there's
cars ain't as roomy as you like them to be when you're as big as you are.
No,
it's not the most relaxing rest you could be getting.
No. So, but I love it. I want to change it. I'm not gonna change it. Just gotta have to keep, dialing in nutrition a little bit better, maybe.
So, what changes have you made that this year?
After Worlds, really the big thing is, so I would work and go in and train pretty quickly. So I'd be on my feet moving, kind of like a mini workout almost, for 2 to 3 hours, and then I would go right into working out. Now, with the way my schedule is now, I can, and I had to start doing this. Like, I will go force myself to sit and eat and hydrate and let that digest before I train, to get really a second meal in. Whereas before I would try to operate off of one, and so I could get done and get on. Yeah, and then that wasn't. At the end of the sessions, I just start dying out. Yep.
It's like, you start fading as the workout's going, and else all you want to do is be done, and you don't have the feel of the energy you need to finish. So that's a very good decision.
Yep. So starting to do that and just being more adaptable, trying not to panic too much. Of like, got to call an audible on a lift. So I'm supposed to hit a heavy single, and I'm like, it's not there here today. I'm going to have to adjust it. To be more.
That's smart.
Yeah.
And a lot of guys don't get that. It's like, okay, you're programmed for this, but you feel off. Don't worry about hitting the number. You're strong as a bull anyway. One variation isn't going to cost you your whole training cycle. So just get some training in so that you get something done, and then shut it down, and then go hit it back again hard next week. It's how you stay in one piece that makes the difference.
For sure.
So, with the biceps being sore and injured, how long is it taking you to recover from that?
I laid off stones for a while. I've actually been able to clean axles, like with the underhand side too, faster than I could do stones. As weird as that sounds. But for probably about 4 weeks, we did nothing but, like, anytime I would do stones and programming, we just do a tremendous amount of bicep rehab and trying to make it specific to strongman, where, like, a lot of like traditional bicep rehabs done in, like, full contraction or like isometrics at like true 90-degree angle, but I'm trying to get into the deeper isometric where I even did some like BFR training with a large med ball to kind of simulate a stone.
Right.
And just get in the angles that I'm in more of that like 125-degree angle rather than the 90-degree angle. That's just kind of the prescribed rehab.
Norm. Yeah, the norm.
Yeah, especially as we've kind of got out of it. I've worked on probably more upper body mobility than I ever have. Really trying to get my pec to kind of let go, trying to get my forearms mobile. Again, one that really helped with the axle too. Cleaning wise. And trying to do all that without losing any pressing power.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And that's smart planning, smart thinking.
Mm-hmm. So, I don't know if my stones will be where I want them to be in August, but we'll have to make a smart decision. I know we won't zero it, that's for damn sure.
Right.
But if I gotta eat some points there, I'm okay with that. Because we got some better events coming.
So how deep under the stones are you going now that you have bicep issues?
Say again?
How deep under the stones do you get when you have the bicep issues?
What do you mean deep?
So you know how you reach underneath and almost hit the bottom of the platform to scoop underneath it?
Yeah.
Are you going super deep like that, or are you now coming just on the round part of the stone?
I am trying to straight arm it as much as possible. Keep it straight and like it until let the back and the glutes do the work. As long as the tacky's holding.
Okay, so you know how you can reach down?
Yeah.
Between your legs
and
grab the stone, and then your knees are on the outside of your elbows?
Yep.
You ever push your knees into your elbows as you're lifting the stone off the floor?
It sounds like a good idea. I haven't thought about that.
It squeezes your hands and elbows into the stone so you can keep them straight, yet keep extra pressure on them as you're lifting it off the floor.
Interesting. Okay.
I know a guy who's had some bicep problems that never even goes, whose back won't go down underneath the stone anymore, and whose hips won't let him drop that low anymore. So I grabbed the stones pretty, like almost squeeze-ish, like a hay squeeze.
Yep.
That's how I pick up the stones, and I go just probably 2 or 3 inches past the apex of the roundness of the stone. I don't get underneath them that deep. I just make sure I have the right tacky, because if you have the right tacky, it's doing that. And then I'll always tacky the last 2 or 3 stones before I go with the fresh tacky that I have on, then re-tacky my hands. So by the time I get to them, I don't have to re-tacky.
I'm gonna play around with that.
Yeah. And then
you just see the light bulb going off above you.
Yeah.
As you do that, you put it in the 2 spots where your hands are going to go, and then you grab it and you roll it about halfway forwards and tacky it again with your hands, touch it again with your hands and get tacky on it, because that's where your hands are going to be when the stone's lapped and you go to pull it up.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
I've had for me, it's all getting into the lap. No bicep pain or even stress at the load for me. It's all in the just getting into the lap.
Right.
So
I just want to make the whole thing as easy as possible.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
When you're smaller and you find other ways of moving things that are super heavy, and use your body to help you get it off the ground, to use the mechanics of it.
Hell yeah.
So those things will help a lot.
I may be texting you some videos.
Okay. Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
100%.
Because
that's the stuff I like to do. I like to get with the higher end competitors and just go, hey, have you done this? Have you done that? Have you done that? And just point out little things to try.
And that's why it's the best experience, everybody.
That's it. I don't know how many times we've been on this podcast, and all of a sudden you can see the the whites of people's eyes and that little light bulb go off, and it's like, why didn't I think of that? And I was like, you just don't have the experience yet, and that's why you're on the show.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Yeah. That's awesome. So I hope some of those things help, and because I did that at the Arnold, and the stone was 535, and I was able to lap that thing. I almost got it over. I lapped it like 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
It was the last time they had the stone in the Arnold, and I nearly had it over the bar, and then I dropped and ended up doing the 465 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
But with my biceps the way they are, I couldn't bend my arms, so I was able to do it with a good tacky, and just pull it and squeeze it like that. Yeah, that's how I was able to move them.
Yeah, very much noted.
And I haven't told anybody that, so now everybody knows.
Yeah,
are we sure we want to air this episode? Or should...
we can make it air later if you'd like. Nah, because you still got to go do it. You still got to figure it out and play with it and stuff like that. So it's still challenging and all on its own. But you got amazing potential. I just can't wait to. It's just so much fun to watch you do what you do. It really is.
Well, I appreciate it. It's that's been an awesome experience. Just gotta keep pushing forward.
Exactly.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. There's a lot of good guys coming in.
Yeah, people come in. They come in fast and hard, but it's the ones that stay.
Yeah.
It's the ones that are there year in and year out that the opportunity will come to. I mean, you can get there.
Mm-hmm.
You can do things that'll get you there fast, but can you stay there? And then as you're staying there, you learn things, and then you just keep improving.
Yeah.
And that's probably the biggest thing, because guys that come in, kill it for 2 or 3 years, then they just break. The trick is not to break.
Yep.
So, but anyway, I can't thank you enough for your time, bud.
It's been awesome. I'll always be happy to come on this show. If anything, just so I can learn. I don't even know.
It's always a phone call away.
Yeah, I don't know. You can always just pick up the phone and ask me or send me a video. Go, what do you think of this?
Absolutely. No, man, it's always an honor talking to you guys, and this is it's still very surreal for me, kind of being part of this, and like I said, we just gotta keep pushing, keep hanging in there, and hopefully break podium here soon. If not soon, a little sooner than later.
You will.
Yeah.
So, and then the thing is you're big, you're strong, all that stuff. Put weight on that you need. Do not put on weight that you don't need.
Yeah.
If it's not going to help you,
don't do it.
Don't put it on.
Yeah.
It only put on weight you need to help.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's going to slow you down or limit your mobility on something, in the end, it's not really useful. You want useful weight on.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Well, Nick and Tom, Nick has a saying, and we always like to use it at the end of every episode. You know what I'm saying? It's inspiring. It's words that define Nick, because you know what? That's exactly how he trains.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, hey guys, go follow Tom Evans. Go follow him. He's absolutely amazing. If you don't go follow him, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, the guy's amazing. He's smart. He's also a really good strength coach, so hit him up on that as well. And as always, if you like this, please like, share, and subscribe, and share the heck out of it. And as always, train hard, train smart, and be the best you can be. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
You're listening to The Best Experience with Nick Best.